they were dead. At least, the ones who were dressed as zombies. Did I want to dress up? Did I have a choice? I was already past the point of no return. I had already gelled my hair. A bargain bin review is like a childhood toy. The older you get, the more you wonder how you had fun with it. All the good feelings, nothing but a distant memory. Was this game just that? A decade-old testament to a distant, outdated memory? The questions can drive you mad, like an angry superhero fan on a criticism forum. It may set you free. Does this game still have playing potential? Is it worth any asking price?
Am I going to be talking like this throughout the whole review? Probably not, but it's good practice to stay in character. Hey guys, it's Bargain Boy again, reviewing bargain bin games to tell you whether they're cool or lame. It's been a long time, and now Halloween season is finally upon us. It's a time where nerds can come in unison to dress up without being completely outcast by the society we live in today. I decided to, appropriately enough, dress up as my favorite hard-boiled detective. Well, because it was either that or... What is this thing? Why the hell do I even have this? But like I said, it fits in with the game that I'm going to be reviewing today, Condemned Criminal Origins. Bringing one from the start of the last era, Condemned is a gritty first-person survival horror game from Monolith Studios, who you may recognize as the dudes behind Shadow of Mordor. The game follows an FBI detective by the name of Ethan Thomas, on the trail of a vicious serial killer. The city is filled with dangerous psychopaths, who will all try to kill your dumbass if you try to give them a sandwich or some crap like that, instead of spare change.
I said $1, bitch!
But you'll find that there's more to this mystery than meets the eye, so it's time to dive right in, and hopefully you guys aren't squeamish, because I'm going to be showing some pretty nasty stuff. The game starts you off in this old apartment building, on the trail of a serial killer called the Matchmaker, who mutilates his victims and leaves them with a rather disturbing mannequin.
The same mark.
Exact same MO as the others?
It's the work of a guy we've been calling the Matchmaker.
But it seems you're hotter on his trail than you thought, so you're left to fend for yourself and find him. So let me break up the story here a bit to talk about the combat. So the first thing you'll notice is that Thomas is the most unprepared agent on the force, as he thought he could go chase a serial killer with one magazine in his gun. Yeah, top form, Agent Thomas. I'm taking 5 points for that. Get out of my sight. Expected better from you. Now, this game came out as an exclusive for the Xbox 360, launching with the console, so they knew that they needed something to show off the awesome power of the next generation. And they don't waste any time getting around to it. Watch this. Bam! Did you see? And if anything, this should be an indicator to what you should be expecting in the game. And by that I mean that it has an emphasis on melee weapons rather than firearms, which is a bold move and by far my favorite thing about this game. Okay, look, I'm gonna be honest. In horror games, I find guns, well, too quick. You can't savor all those little emotions. You see, it's in these moments where the horror game shows you what it truly is. And a horror game with guns is just too cold. Too heartless. No, a real horror game takes things nice and up close. Yeah, that's when it truly Okay, well, I haven't played Fear yet, so that's yet to change, but you get my point. If you like the brutality of games like The Last of Us...
Then you're gonna love me.
Okay, alright, that's enough of the Dark Knight references for now, I swear. But god damn is this game violent as hell. And I don't mean that in terms of the corpses you find. I'm talking about the combat. Just... Okay, I'm gonna go a bit off the rails here from what I usually do, but can I just take a moment to gush about the combat? Just because I really like the combat. I wasn't kidding when I made that comparison to The Last of Us. A lot of things work well in the combat. Despite the usual first-person melee awkwardness, every square hit is disgustingly satisfying, all thanks to the brilliant sound and voice acting. Jesus, hearing all those cracks and heavy breaths from Thomas as he smacks dudes with whatever weapon you have, it's... oh god, it's just gruesome.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Oh, that's another thing. The weapons. As I said before, this game is all about the melee weapons, and using a variety of them to fight off these ultra-violent druggies. They break these down into very simple stats, some varying in speed, strength, durability, and their ability to block attacks. The game encourages you to try out different weapons, as you'll have to play to their strengths. And I mean stuff like pipes, planks, axes, Peter Gabriels, conduits. Yeah, sure, why not? Stick thing, and all kinds of crap in the environment. You'll find yourself in situations where you want to use a blunt object rather than guns, as most guns you'll find only give you less than 6 bullets, so you better make those count. No, and I mean that, because the gun is the least durable weapon in the whole game, even with its amazing next-gen technology. But you're not just equipped with your hands in this game. Thomas has a handy-dandy taser ready to zap anyone who gets a little too close. Thomas also has a mean kick to push baddies back, and it's my weapon of choice whenever I want to give somebody some of that old sweet chin music.
Sweet chin music! What in the world? I told you, King! I told you!
Alright, so yeah, the combat's all well and nice, but let's start getting to the super scary stuff. I didn't know I could do that. Jesus, did you know I could do that? Now getting back to the story, it would seem like this game would have a lot more focus on the biggest threat of the game being your fellow man. And the whole city is absolutely nuts. Guys are hopped up on shit, they're all killing each other, serial killers are running around, birds are dying. Birds are dying. I don't know. You pick them up, there's a bird. You find metal pieces. What do you want me to say, okay? I do this for a living. I get paid like 5 cents an hour. These poor souls can't get any food. God help me. I just want to go home. Shut up, Dan! I gotta tell you, they do a damn good job of showing you how fucked up this city is. Let me give you an example. Look at this guy. You see that? What the frick? That guy's hardcore. That's just crazy, man. I don't know how.
They were probably hopped up on designer drug V.
What the hell was that? It's like the thing says in the Fantastic Four movie. Don't do drugs. Well, whatever that was, it brings me to my next point. This game is not all realistic, as there seems to be some sort of supernatural plot at work here. You see this with Thomas as he suffers from weird nightmares and hallucinations. Now, I'm gonna get to the best parts of the game's story and scary moments, because I do have my own criticisms on the story in particular. Now, as much as I like the whole serial killer edge, the mystery of the hallucinations is what drove my main interest, wanting to find out why Thomas was blacking out or seeing random shit. Now, some of these got a real jump out of me, and I didn't even see it coming. Now, I was a little bit in your guys' position when I first played this. I was all like, okay, well, this game is a million years old. I've seen the big mannequin scare in the middle of the game. There's really not much else. Alright, and keep thinking that, because this game's gonna end up surprising you and scaring the hell out of you like it did to me. To be honest, the abandoned mall in the middle of the game is by far the best and most unique part of the game. Oh god, everything is just so fucked up in this level. All the enemies look unique and crazy, and it's the only part of the game that made me completely freeze. No, I'm sorry. I can't do this. I can't. Not like that. Not when this crap isn't popping in. I can't do this. I can't. Like, oh my god, I'm sorry. Just I'm gonna clean the disc. I gotta clean the disc because I can't. Not like that. Not like that. Not like this. Well, that's not to say the rest of the game isn't good, but it's not as good as that level. I mean, they all have their little jump scares and times where the game fucks with the player's head, but nothing is compared to the creepy environment of the mannequin mall. Feeling like you have eyes watching you constantly and feeling like they're gonna jump out at any moment. Now, this didn't bother me much, but a lot of you guys might find that the environments in the first half of the game are a bit too monotonous. But if you stick around long enough, the rest of the game varies in its settings. Okay, I think I've done enough sidestepping and it's time to address the actual issues with the game. Now, gameplay-wise, it takes a bit of a slow turn when you have these little crime scene moments. That's when you gotta freshen up your detective skills and take out a whole slew of equipment. The true mystery of this game? Where is he keeping them? Seriously, like, second level, he goes out of his house, he's already, like, got them. Oh, maybe that's the reason you can't carry more than one weapon. I don't know. But the first and most noticeable thing you'll find is that the game really hasn't aged well. It's one of those bargain bin games where it's gonna be a bit for you to get over how it looks. Not to mention the fact that it has some glitches here and there. Hey, what was that? Hey, don't think I didn't see that. I saw that. And the biggest glitch I found was this one, which had come right at the mannequin level. I gotta tell you, I don't know if this made things better or worse for me. I'm still trying to decide. Okay, so I tried to explain this free of spoilers, but frankly, my problems lie within the spoiler area, so if you guys want to skip over that, just click on this guy right up here. It's nice. So I mentioned that the supernatural aspect is what kept me interested, but the thing is, they leave it unexplained until the last 3 minutes of the game. Even after you fought the big stick final boss, you still don't get a clear explanation to what these things are and what their connection to Thomas is. I mean, from what I get, they're some kind of demons that feed and I think possess people with hatred or fear or something, and they're the reason the city's going crazy, I think? I don't know, just having all that dropped in the last 3 minutes of the game, followed by a random binary choice at the end that doesn't really matter, it just... I don't... Now, speaking of stuff that doesn't matter, they make a point of explaining how Thomas is special and that he's been a certain interest to the FBI, but we never find out what that is. Is it because he's ultra-violent, or apparently he's always belonged to these demon dudes? I don't even know what the hell's going on. This barely connects. There are bits in here where the whole hate demon thing makes sense, where you can see their influence, but it doesn't have a really satisfying conclusion. It seems a little lazy. The thing about the final act of the story is that when it starts focusing on the supernatural stuff, it doesn't provide you with enough context for it to be a satisfying explanation. Just what are these things? Where do they come from? I guess they're setting it up for the sequel, which is unfortunate because it takes away from this story as a standalone game. So the combat is kick-ass, the graphics look dated, and the story gets rocky near the end. Is that all I gotta say for Condemned? Well, there are some details in this game that make it just the sweetest little pleasure trip through an ultra-violent hell. If you manage to get an enemy down, you can perform a brutal finishing move, and no, I'm just gonna let them speak for themselves, man. Oh, well, okay, that last one really wasn't that hardcore, but hot damn if these aren't sick animations. Now, I love the fact that these guys retaliate like crazy when they get hit, or they drop their weapons if you hit their arms and they try to lunge at you with their fists. Just to give you an example, take a look at this amazing struggle I had with this one dude. My god, this was a battle. The voice acting for the most part is really good in this game as well, like I mentioned before, both in the cutscenes and in the actual gameplay. On the other hand, there are some things in this game that take me out of the experience. For example, the citizens start acting a bit less like drugged up dudes and more like mutants throughout the rest of the game, very much like splicers in BioShock. So to top it all out, great combat, dated graphics, and a bit of a flimsy story, but if you want a good scare this Halloween, then this affordable little game is sitting right there in your bargain bin. So that's it for Condemned, guys, and as for me, there's nothing but Halloween candy for the rest of my miserable month. Really? What the fuck? Son of a bitch.